Good morning. Welcome to, I guess it's the Buckeye brunch this morning. We in here. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let us know what you're drinking. We here late. What's good, Ron?
What's up? What's up? Running a little late. You didn't even straighten my hat before the show, so we're here.
See, might not have been me. I always every time we late now, I always get blamed.
It is. It's your fault. Absolutely your fault.
Yeah, I've rarely been late. I mean, I've been
Stop the
late
cap.
like one or two times in the history of the show.
That is a complete lie,
It's
and don't let
true.
Q lie to you. But I will take the blame for it today. My phone died last night, and my alarm didn't go off. I naturally woke up at 7:40 ish. Had to start editing a graphic, piece together a show, but we are here.
See,
Jeez.
Ron wasn't up till 7:40. I was up at
That's cap.
4:40.
That's
So
cap. I can't get this hat straight. I don't know if my head's crooked last night. Like, I don't know what happened. Look at Q. Now this man's over here fucking dancing in the camera.
nah, I had to move. I had to lock that move. But yeah, man, gotta get shout out to Taylor. That was our first chat in there. What's going on, Taylor? How you doing, man? Good
Taylor?
morning.
Okay. I thought you were trying to say Terry. I'm like, how you? I had to scroll up. Terry was the first chat on
Dude,
my
so
side.
I want to get into that. But yeah, man. Yesterday we had the Fans Edge. It was a good show, so make sure you definitely check that out. It was on last night. Ron, y'all are on Bleacher Report today. Am I right?
Yes, sir. At 2:30, me and Christian will be on Bleacher Report, so make sure you tune in for that.
Make sure you tuned in. Dog's Film Room. Where you at with that?
Dog's Film Room will be dropping tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, all right. You know, pre. Are y'all still doing the pregame show Saturday? We ain't got no
Yes,
game.
sir.
All right, so see, still get a pregame show. We even got a game. So I guess y'all be previewing some national games. Much fun. So definitely check that out. I might make a guest appearance. I might not.
Q's telling on himself, asking if we're going to do a show, being that he thinks that the Saturday show is a Ohio State game preview. It is a national show on Saturday, so we do that every week. So hope you tune in for the first time this week, Q.
It's out of my pay grade. Yeah, so it's the weekend. My mind goes those places. But yeah, man, make sure you check that out. That's all dudes. Like the video. Got people in here early and tap in. So today we're gonna go.
Wait. We got to pause before we move on. There are 21 people in here and 2 likes on this video. We got to run these likes up before we get started here. We appreciate all of you guys tuning in and all of you who wake up earlier than us before the show. So shout out to you guys. But make sure you smash that like button before we get going here.
Yeah, appreciate you. Make sure you do that. So today we got the defensive grade. We got to finish that up from yesterday, and then we're going to get into a little bit of a future cast and tough games that we have. Does Notre Dame game give you confidence for future games? We'll talk about that, and also will Ohio State run the table? So that's what we got. Make sure you tab in there. Let us know your defensive grade, so we're going to hop in there first. So, Ron, we want to start with the defensive line.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start there.
All
You
right,
want me to go
defensive.
first?
Yeah, go. You got it.
No, if we're starting with the defensive line as far as grades, yesterday we did offensive grades and graded Ryan Day's handling of the quarterback competition, and today we're going to finish up on the defensive side of the ball. And starting with the defensive line, I give them a B plus. I feel like they've been really good in the run game. They've left a little bit to be desired as far as the sack totals, but when that we've needed them to step up in the big moments, I feel like our defensive line has been there. They disrupted Notre Dame's last drive a ton and played a huge role in that. So I've been saying all year, it's hard to be critical of this defensive line just because we're not seeing sack totals because they're getting pressures and are handling their jobs in the run game. So it's hard to give them anything lower than a B plus. I don't want to give them an A because we haven't seen the strip sacks, and it's just weird that ever since Chase Young left, we haven't seen that singular guy that is just running up sacks. And I thought, like out of school, like Ohio State, with the talent that they're able to recruit, that they would have a guy that would be able to just be super, super disruptive and be able to run up the sack totals. But we're not seeing that right now. But JTT and Jack are still playing fairly well. I'd like to see more of a rotation there, though. I feel like playing them every single snap is unrealistic, especially 3 games in the season. And it's weird because Larry has always been known to rotate a ton on the defensive line, and then we don't see Kenyatta Jackson or Caden Curry at all on Saturday, which was a little puzzling to me. So all in all, I would give them a B plus. I'd like to see the rotations open up a little bit more, but overall, pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I'll probably go around a B plus. Um, got to get those sack numbers in there from the edge, so that will help out a lot and push it to an A. But I think the defensive line has been again it's one of the strengths of the defense. Now the strength, Mike Hall and Ty Leak, absolute wrecking crew. As Gaiman have been there throughout the season, straight flashes. I talked about Ty Lee coming into the season, how he had first round potential. He needed to play like it. He has done that to the best of his ability so far. He's finally on the field, so that also helps. I don't know what Larry was doing the last 2 years, but put the man on the field and you see what happens. Yeah, just gotta get some sack numbers in there. I mean, I don't exactly expect strip sacks; those would be nice, but just get a sack. That's all you need. One sack, will throw up the offensive drive. So. Still got work to do there. Yeah, I don't know why Larry also shrunk the rotation. This is not time to shrink the rotation. All times, to cut it down the last couple years. Like this is the one time where it's like, no, expand it. You have talent both at defensive tackle and defensive end and can go pretty deep. So I would still love to see that. But yeah, B plus. Larry's unit again, putting in a good performance. Moving on to the linebacker core. Where would you rate the linebackers this early in the season?
I'm really upset that I have to do this because I started the Tommy Heismanberg campaign thinking that we were about to see a guy who's been in the system for years step up and really show why the coaches believe in him so much and why we're keeping a 5-star linebacker off the field to the point so much that we value Tommy Eichenberg so much that we can't even rotate anyone in. So I was expecting elite linebacker play. I'm talking top 3 in the nation this year from this linebacking core that we were chastised for criticizing over the offseason about how they're the greatest and how dare we. Even up until last week, we had people in our comments saying we better never criticize Steel Chambers again. I just want to ask you guys what you thought about his performance in Saturday's game. Let me know in the chat because we're not allowed to criticize him. So I'm not going to speak on him specifically, because you know what I mean? A Buckeye legend like Steel Chambers, who never does any wrong and has never messed up, should not be criticized on this program. But my guy, Tommy, I think he's leaving much to be desired on the field, and I think both of these guys should and need to level up their play by the end of the year. But I give them a C minus. I felt like they played well through the first 3 games as everyone was hyping them up and ready to crown them the greatest linebacker duo in Ohio State history after 3 games against nobodies. But then we play Notre Dame and we see them getting put on the hub. We saw, hey, it's so funny? We watched this man in 4K get fucking dunked on and mossed, and we're like, told you can't cover. And we're like, look at his PFF grade. I'm like, look at this man putting him on the hub when they have a jump all together. He was in perfect position, was there to knock the ball down, and still gets mossed. So I'm like, my eyes are telling me that's not good coverage. But since PFF told you he's the best coverage linebacker in the country, we're not allowed to talk about it. So I guess we had to wait for a stinker like this to be allowed to talk about it, but I give them linebackers a C minus.
Yeah, I agree with you on grade. I'd probably go C minus. I mean, I don't know if I ever rated either of them in coverage specifically, or where the good linebacker coverage was coming from. They kind of. I mean, I didn't expect, like, you may have probably expected a jump. I don't know if everybody expected a jump in the offseason from their play, like, oh, another year in the system.
No, I didn't expect a jump. I expected the same level of Heisman caliber play that we saw from Tommy last year. I expected to see that this year.
I mean, I wouldn't say we haven't seen that, but I always expect in games where we get into like talent, and Notre Dame is better this year than they were last year. I don't know if I'm better tight end, I'm sure, but still, they still have weapons. and can expose weaknesses that you were going to see it. I mean, I always expect to see it in games where we hit like talent. They kind of are where they are. Solid players, but again, when I saw the defense against Indiana and you insert a Sonny Styles, you beef up the secondary and put new talent in, and you bring out the same linebackers, I'm like, yeah, the linebackers are gonna look very level down because the defense is so level up, and that's what you've seen. And I didn't expect what happened on Saturday. On Saturday, they were absolutely god awful. Like I haven't seen worse linebacker play. As critical as I've been of them and wanting to jump in talent, I haven't seen them that bad in a while. Maybe since Michigan a couple years ago. So yeah, it's a little rough on that end. I just don't know what the solution is. They're going to keep running the same guys out there. And I seen them chatting like, is this James Laurinaitis, for them dropping a level? I mean, no, I just think this is the level that they are. They're going to look good against inferior opponents when you get into like talent or somebody who's like, okay, that's the weakness. Let me scheme them up. They're not going to look so good. I mean, if we had Harold Perkins and I'm missing one, but guys like that, they still wouldn't play on this team. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the answers. Like, you have to ask Jim Knowles in the press conference why we don't rotate, why we can't get more out of these 4 top 100 linebackers that we have, and why do these guys get out there and are able to make every mistake in the world, and then just next week, all right, we still just roll back out there. So, I don't know. But see, mine's where I go right now.
A source from inside the Woody. We got our guy Ryan Day's beard here, and he's saying they're having a bad film day today. So that's what I like to hear, that they're correcting these behaviors on film.
Okay, like, deal, run faster. Like, coach, I can't develop these ball skills you haven't developed in 5 years. Coach, I cannot. Like, I don't know what they want from them, but I didn't expect Tommy to come out running a 4.4 off of Mick's offseason program.
I did. I'd seen him playing basketball in the offseason, which made me think his foot speed was going to increase. But what do I know? Just a Hall of Fame Twitter coach over here.
Yeah, you should be getting tested if that's the case. All right, so moving on, we got secondary. Secondary obviously has made a jump in my opinion. So give me your grade for corners, and then we'll jump to safeties.
A-. I think the corners have held up well. I would even include Jordan Hancock in there as the nickel safety, nickel corner, whatever you want to call them. I think they've all played well. There hasn't been, outside of number 3, someone on the field, and I've been like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? Even down to Jermaine Matthews gets in the game, makes a pick 6. Igbenogson, I asked for it at the beginning of the season, so it's kind of hard for me to say clean it up. You've seen Iggy with a couple penalties there. Other than that, I really can't complain. And overall, I asked for the penalties. I said, I'd much rather see you hold someone, drag them to the ground, push them out of bounds, do whatever you have to do. But I don't want to see a guy named after a president running through our secondary. I mean, Parker Washington, Roman Wilson, all these goofy ass named wide receivers, Cornelius Johnson, all these weird ass wide receivers just running through our secondary, through arm tackles, missed tackles. None of our corners want to tackle. That was the other thing. Cam Brown and Denzel Burke as a cornerback pairing last year, bro. I've never seen 2 corners less interested in tackling. And I mean, I guess Cam Brown would make an effort, but it was just poor. But Iggy is out there contributing in the run game. There's a couple times that I've just seen a big hit in the game, and I'm like, holy shit, who is that? And I look up, it's number 1 popping up. I'm like, corner? Like, so to see Iggy really bring that toughness from the SEC to this corner room, and I feel like Denzel's really leveled up his game. He's played a great year. I think there was only 1 catch on him in the Notre Dame game, so it's been years since we've had a corner that we could trust, and we look back at the end of the game and we're like, did he even play? Because you don't see him out there at all because they're not throwing at him. So overall, I'm very happy with the corner play, and I'm interested to see how they continue to develop. I don't know if in the Big Ten they're going to be challenged a ton as far as receiver talent. I mean, I think Roman Wilson's probably the best wide receiver that I've watched this year out of like the big 2 between Penn State, and Michigan. So I think they should be able to hold up the rest of the year, and A- from me.
Yeah, I may go. I'll probably go with an A, and not even give the minus. I think the corners have been exceptional this season. Even though coming in for Cam Brown, being physical in the run game, I'm glad he is. Somebody has to be because the linebackers ain't. Um, Coming up, tackling, I'm happy with it. Denzel Burke, like you said, you forget he's played, except when he has an interception. Like, oh, yeah, Denzel Burke's on the field. He's just locking down his side. And Jordan Hancock is a true pro, a draft pick, 2024 NFL draft. Look out for him. So, yeah, I'm happy with the corner play. I think he's been very solid. Even though some people talked about him last game, he really only gave up 4 catches for like 20-something yards. You give a touchdown because he fell, but it happens. And the pass interference every now and then, it happens. I mean, he's physically, he's going to grab you. It's going to happen, but you give up only, I guess, you had 23 plus maybe 15. That's what, 38 yards. So it's not a bad day in an entire football game. So been really happy with it, extremely well. Again, I don't know if these guys they'll get challenged a little bit going against Penn State. That's up in talent. They'll get challenged a little bit going up against Michigan, but I don't think anybody's really gonna get the better of them that I see on the schedule right now. But I'm definitely looking forward. I mean, Maryland always has receivers. I know they've had guys walk out the door that would really challenge. Thank you, I brought it up.
We knew we wouldn't get through this segment without you simping for your low-key favorite school, but go ahead.
Maryland always has passed the game. They had some talent walk out the door, but I'm sure they'll be good to go. So they'll get some challenge there. But yeah, I think they've been exceptional. I would give them an A and think they're probably top 3 strengths of the defense in total.
Yeah, I agree. Before we move on to safeties, appreciate you guys tuning in for this show with me and Zona Terp over here. Make sure you smash that like button. There's like 40 people in here, so I think there's only like 15 likes on the video. I don't know if you guys are just watching and don't fuck with it or not. But can we run that like button up and let's jump into these safeties? Q, how do you grade the safety play of the Buckeyes through 4 games this year?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I have to count Sonny Styles in here. He should just have his own position, but I'll count him as a safety. Yeah, Sonny Styles, Lathan Ransom might have been so far maybe the best player outside of Denzel Burke on this defense. It's a separate question. I mean, I might throw Tyleek a little bit above him for what he did last game, but he's definitely probably in the top 3 of the defense. He's been very solid. Josh Proctor, a true athlete who we were robbed of not seeing last season because of strict racism, and they put Ronnie Hickman in there, and that was what it was. I still don't understand that decision because Josh Proctor, Ronnie Hickman played solid last season, but Josh Proctor just has such a higher upside, and I don't know. Ronnie Hickman just put together when he got to the NFL, I guess. But Josh Proctor was the guy I wanted to see. So with them 3, man, they have been the core of the defense. Sonny Styles, the plays he's made, just flying around the field, that 4th down stop he's made, like I would never take him off the field. I would start taking linebackers off the field if need be, but he's got to be on there. Lathan Ransom and Josh Proctor filling the lane last game. They were the linebackers, to be honest. They were both the linebackers and the safeties because they were all making tackles within a couple yards of the field. So I would probably have to give them an A. So far, I mean, haven't really given up much. Have been very solid, up and play from last season. Perry Eliano is doing his thing, earning his money. Got to see when these guys truly get tested. That still awaits. But yeah, I don't think they could have been much better than they have been now.
Yeah, I have to give them both an A. Well, the safeties as a whole an A if we exclude number 3. I think they've played great this year. Josh Proctor, even coming off injury, still looked good in the Notre Dame game. Lathan Ransom coming up and just thumping people. To see that physicality and then them not really have any crazy coverage exposures, I think that overall they've been really great. We either haven't heard from them or we see them coming downhill and making a necessary tackle, and we don't see any bad angles. We haven't seen missed tackles in the run game that go for long runs. So that seeing them get people to the ground and be able to keep everything in front of them has been a much needed help to this defense and a huge improvement of last year. Just to see the step that the secondary as a whole, not just the safeties, have taken was just a huge add to this defense. After, I mean, we said all last season, everyone's like, why do you think this defense will get better? Why do you think this defense will get better? Because we had 3 undrafted players playing in our secondary last year. And I just don't know like how hard, like how much you can understate that. Like it was just so bad back there. Tanner McAllister, Ronnie Hickman, and Cam Brown, 3 guys that we did not see get their name called in the draft this year. I don't know, are any of them contributing in the NFL right now? I don't believe so. It's just overall a huge jump in talent, and we've seen them answer the call. They've played well, and I'd have to give it an A.
Yeah, definitely. And 2 guys, and really different. I mean, as long as Josh Proctor's been here, this is really his first, I guess, full-time experience. Big starter, big on the field in 5 seasons. And Sonny Styles, we knew what he could do. I don't know why they hit him so long last season. And, we got Georgia this week. Go ahead and play. Like, what? He could have got some more time and had him a little more prepared. But those 2 guys have balled out. And Tanner McAllister, I think, was the guy where this defense was going to level up the most. Cam Brown did get beat in the Michigan game. Did have a missed tackle, but I thought he was fairly okay. But you throw in Jordan Hancock, who just has such a higher level of talent, and you take out Ronnie Hickman and throw in Josh Proctor, I think has a much higher ceiling and introduce Sonny Styles to the game. That defense had no choice but to level up. So definitely happy with the safety play.
And shout out to all the Hall of Fame Twitter coaches out there. I know there's plenty of you. There's been people saying since 2 seasons ago, as soon as Jim Knowles got here and he said he wants to run this 3 safety defense, and everybody's like, you should probably have a corner out there at nickel. No, it's a 3 safety system. We brought this guy from Oklahoma State, and everybody's like, probably just put a corner out there. And then he's out there just getting cooked. And then we see them put a corner and nickel, and look at the improvement that it has. Like I push back against you saying that Jordan Hancock would be a draft pick. I'm starting to get worried about that clip popping back up on the internet in April if this guy gets drafted. Like I thought that Jordan Hancock was 1 year away, but I feel like if he keeps it up in the slot, I mean, we're looking at like a Sean Wade-ish type year in the slot. No, going too far there.
Okay. Let's stop that, bro. Sean Wade was literally getting so much crap because of the season he had.
Rightfully so, because that shit was mid on top of mid.
Yeah, he gets so much crap for the year he had in 2020 that people forget this man was damn near All-American in 2019. Like that man was playing at a. If he would have left, I swear he would have been a first-round pick. He was playing damn near at a first-round level. He wasn't giving up nothing, so I wouldn't go that far. But I would say.
Bro was out here looking like a first-round pick and then, like, came back like the Monstars stole his powers on the outside, bro. Just getting dunked on.
Yeah, he should have left. I don't know why he came back. But yeah, so it also too depends on how much Jordan Hancock continues to play. I do not like him and Sonny Styles splitting time and suit for each other. Take one of the linebackers off the field. What are we doing? Like those 2 need to stay on the field, or if not, Sonny Styles should never leave the field. And if they bunch up, bring another linebacker on. Just bring another linebacker on anyway. What are we doing? But just bring another linebacker on for that spot if they're going 13 personnel or 12 personnel, something like that. So, yeah. I mean, it's been very impressive. The corners have jumped primarily, and that's what the defense is about. Last season, we talked about it. Jim Knowles went and got the linebacker play first, and then he was going to turn around the safety play in the secondary, and he has truly done that. So he's delivered. So far, so good. Got to give him as high as the grade you give the defense. So I'm very happy with what we've seen so far.
So do we want to give grades for Jim Knowles before we move on here?
Yeah. Let's do that. We gave Ryan Day a grade. We got to give Jim Knowles one.
Let's hear it.
I mean, so far I'd have to give Jim Knowles an A. I mean, he hasn't really given up points like that. I mean, 7, 3, and 14 to the top 10 opponent. Again, I still am waiting on someone to really challenge Jim Knowles, a team with weapons on the outside, which we They just not see that until the playoffs for real, for real. But obviously, Michigan and Penn State will do their best, and they may be able to challenge the secondary, and we truly see what they're made of. So, so far, so good. Cannot complain. Still would love to level up that person linebacker, but you can't have it all. So, gotta give Jim Knowles an A so far, and he's doing a good job.
Yeah, I have to give him an A minus. I think that they've done a great job defensively as a unit as a whole, but he's also listed as the linebackers coach on the roster, and I think his position group has been by far the worst on the defense. So I'm not quite ready to give him an A or an A plus, but you can't complain when they're giving up, like Goj says, 3, 10, 14 points, and they're keeping this offense in the game. And I think he's doing exactly what we need him to do. He went to Gamblers Anonymous, and we don't see him losing us the games by giving up big plays. He said he likes his defense is going to give up 5-6 big plays a game. And after last season, Ryan Day had to pull him aside and look, here's the 5-6 plays that lost us the Michigan game. Hey, buddy, you're going to have to come up with a new defense, or is this your last year? Because clearly 5-6 big plays is too much. So now that he's got that under control, and it seems like he understands that we don't need, like, we're not Oklahoma State. We don't need you to go play offense on defense, where we have Ryan Day calling the plays. That's a good thing sometimes. And we have Ryan Day calling the plays. We have Marvin Harrison Jr. We do not need you to go score points for us on defense. We will handle that on offense. We need you to get off the field and protect the end zone. So I think he's done that. And I think this defense is going to continue to progress. So as the linebackers get better, maybe his grade will, but that is still his position room. So I can't quite give him an A or an A plus, but an A minus for the defense in its totality. So I think Jim Knowles has really leveled up and learned a lot in the past year.
Yeah, 5 or 6 is such an insane statement. That's all 42 points a game you can give up. You give up 5 or 6.
Bro, that's that Big 12 shit, though.
You'll never win. We'll give up 5 or 6, average of 42 points on defense, and we're 3-9. Like, yeah.
We played zone defense in the fourth quarter. If we give up 5 or 6 threes, we should be fine. What are you talking about, bro?
Let's half that to like 2 or 3, maybe, and we got a chance. That's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, man, Jim Knowles is really doing his thing. I had something, but maybe I'll remember in a minute. But yeah, talking about this Notre Dame game, moving forward, I want to touch on our next really big game coming up, which I believe is the Penn State one. Will, besides a trap game, will truly get challenged. Does going against Sam Hartman and this Notre Dame offense give you confidence going forward against a Drew Aller or Michigan later in the season? But let's focus in on Drew Aller because he's been lighting it up. Wish he was here, but we got Quinn Ewers instead, so we're all happy there. But yeah, man. Does it give you confidence?
Absolutely. I think we've played the best quarterback that we'll see in the Big Ten.
Ooh.
I think I'll take Sam Hartman over J.J. McCarthy and Drew Aller at this point in their career. I think Drew Aller, and as much as it pains me to say it, I think J.J. at the end of his career will be at least a better NFL prospect. I think both of them will be. But right now, I think Sam is the best quarterback that we've seen thus far, and we'll see on our regular season schedule. So I think this was a great test for them to be able to hold him to 14 points when people were talking about, the experience. This is the level up that Notre Dame needed to take them to the next level. And then we see the Buckeyes go out there and hold him, and he didn't do anything that spectacular. So for them to be able to limit a quarterback like that in his 5th year, I think that bodes well for Ohio State going forward. I don't know where Q just left. That just did a magic trick and popped up on the other side. You still there? He just teleported, though.
Okay, that's odd. Continue.
What was the Matrix like, bro?
It's fun.
But yeah, man, I think their performance against Drew Aller should give Buckeye fans confidence going forward, because I think they handled one of the better quarterbacks that they'll see this year, and definitely that they'll see in the Big Ten.
Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know if either of them are better than Sam Hartman. And I got Hummus here on the chat talking about Talia, the best quarterback we see. Yeah, I would probably put him up there.
You're
One,
speaking Q's love language because
yeah,
anyone that's from the DMV area, he secretly likes them, and he has on a Maryland shirt under that hoodie. I seen it in the pregame show.
their
Big
athletic,
turtle on the front, bro.
their athletic department give you $5 a show to plug every time and get the juice going. Um, my only thing of us holding Sam Hartman to not going crazy is just his personnel. I just the only players I knew on the Notre Dame offense was when we were recruiting or in recruiting talks with last season. So it's not a very good sign that he has the weapons to just go crazy. But yeah, it's going to really depend on how good this Michigan wide receiver core has gotten or how good this Penn State wide receiver core has gotten. And I think that's where you'll truly get the challenge. I mean, I think those guys could definitely go crazy against us if that is the case, or they could be held in check because their wide receiver group just isn't as good as our secondary. So it'll be interesting to see there. I would say, yeah, Sam Hartman's probably at the level at least of the best quarterback we'll face this season. I don't think we'll face one that's superiorly better. Does that make sense? Superiorly better? No, much better. We'll go much better. So base one is much better. So
More gooder, I believe, is what you were looking for.
something like this. So yeah, yeah, I have to agree with you there. But we'll see based on their outside crew and their running backs. I mean, obviously Penn State, Nick Singletary, and Ketron Allen haven't looked as good as they have last season. But they're a very dynamic running back core as we've already seen. So that could open some things up and require more resources. And then Michigan, obviously, they put us on the hub at the end of the game last year with Jackson. So got to see, man. Still got to see. I'm waiting, but definitely got to see.
So our guy Mitch brought up this. Maryland going to dice up our linebackers. The air attack is significantly better than Notre Dame. So it makes me ask the question. I saw earlier in the chat, I forget who said it. Remind me in the chat if you're the one who said this. That our linebackers are really struggling in coverage, and they don't like seeing Sonny come off the field as much as he's coming off for Jordan Hancock when he comes in at the nickel. Hear me out. You're telling me that we're going to bring in Cody Simon to help our linebackers in coverage and just have Sonny Styles stand on the sidelines, arms folded like this, and watch on every pass play? Now, hear me out. I may be crazy. If we're going to take Sonny Styles off the field because we don't think he's good enough to cover and play the nickel, and we bring in Jordan Hancock, telling me we always talk about cross training this. You'd think it was CrossFit U the way they're always talking about cross training players. Why not get Sonny back on the field at linebacker on these pass plays? Steel Chambers, Tommy Eichenberg, literally anyone. And again, they talk about, the reasons why CJ Hicks isn't getting on the field is because Jim Knowles likes both of his linebackers to be able to call the defense. Well, if you have two linebackers that can call the defense, why can't you slide Sonny in there at somewhere? Like, why not?
I mean, what defense do you really need to call on clear passing downs? I haven't played football at that high a level, but if it's 3rd and 15, I don't know how many changes to the defense you're going to make. What do we give up? We brought Cody Simon in, gave up like a 3rd and like 18, something crazy. I was like, okay, that's clearly not working. So I have to agree with you. You know what? I'm taking Sonny Styles off the field if we're bringing on Jerome Baker, but wait, he's in the NFL. Sorry, we can't do that. So yeah, I'm keeping him on the field because him and CJ Hicks have looked the best in coverage of those players. And I know CJ Hicks, it was just a spring game, but seeing from him what I haven't seen from anybody else in years. I wouldn't call Cody Simon a pass specialist at linebacker. So I agree with you there. Those would be the guys I'm bringing on, and at least if they give up a catch, I know they're flying to the ball to make a tackle. So that's where I would go. I mean, I don't know what we're doing. I still have questions.
So before we get out of here, I want to ask you, everyone obviously is thinking about the Teton game and thinks that's the most important game on the schedule. We've lost to them 2 years in a row. 3 would be a catastrophe. I don't think that I could live through the offseason if they were to lose again this year. It would be completely insufferable by the Michigan fan base. They've been given completely new life. So I would love to steal the hope from them that they've had as a program. We know that they're going to have a down year next year. Do you think Michigan or Penn State is the tougher remaining game on the schedule?
It's a good question. I mean, I said Penn State earlier in the year because that game's just always super tough. I would still go with Penn State right now. If the Michigan game is that tough, we probably don't win it. that's my thinking. It could be a tougher game, but it's not going to be a game that we win. So I would go Penn State as far as a tougher game. I think they're going to challenge us. I like Drew Aller in this trajectory better than J.J. McCarthy. I would go and say their running back crew, probably with Donovan not playing as well, probably a little bit better. I mean, they've leveled down a little bit too, so it's tough to tell. I mean, I don't know. I thought this was going to be another year of the running backs, but they've not been as quite dynamic as they've been last year. So interesting. But I would say Penn State right now. I think that'll be a little bit of a tougher game. I know we got to go to Michigan and go their place, and it's going to be a big-time game. But I feel like if we win that game, we end up pulling away a little bit. I don't think it'll be a nail-biter. Penn State is always a nail-biter, win or loss. So, yeah, I would still hold Penn State right now.
I think Penn State matchup-wise matches up better than Ohio State and would give them 9 times out of 10 the better game, but I'm nervous about Ryan Day being in his own head in this Michigan game. And while I feel like Ohio State matches up better against Michigan this year, I've watched a few Michigan games. They don't impress me. I mean, they're running trick plays on offense in the red zone in the first quarter on Rutgers. They were in a dogfight with them halfway through the game. I've watched the games with Michigan fans. They're not happy with some of the play that they're seeing out there. Like, yeah, they're winning these games, but if you're watching the games with them, they're complaining the entire time. Like, they're not really loving what they're seeing out there. But Blake Corum has come back bigger than he did last year, and he's still moving like he did the year before. So that's a little concerning. He seems bigger. He seems super healthy. So, I mean, good for him. Shout out to him for having his health. But overall, that does seem concerning. But then you have Donovan Edwards, who is struggling this year. They got him a little bit involved last week in the passing game and on some jet sweeps, but you're not seeing the rotation that I think a lot of people were expecting after the way he went off against Ohio State. So while I think Penn State will be the tougher game on paper, just because of the mental aspect of it, I still think Michigan poses the biggest threat to Ohio State, just because I feel like Ryan Day could get in his own head. And I feel like just the thought of losing to them 3 years in a row is going to be a lot weighing on the players, and I don't know how they'll be ready to handle that. So it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out.
Yeah, I mean, definitely with the offense we had last year, the level, this offense is not to that level yet, so they have a bit of a ways to go. So it's going to be a little scary, but I feel like the running game's much better this season. I feel like they'll be a little more balanced. Case Stover, if one thing we can rely on, Case Stover will go off. That's one thing guaranteed every Saturday. They'll find a way to get him the ball, so he'll be good to go. So, yeah, I could agree with that. I can see it either way. I'm still going to hold Penn State right now.
Absolutely. We are going to be on Bleacher Report this afternoon, me and Chris Drew at 2:30. So if you like the content that you're seeing now, make sure you download that Bleacher Report app and tap in with us this afternoon. Q, let the people know where they can find you, because boys got to get to work.
Yeah, man. See your boy Quentin on Twitter. Feel free to hit me up, DM me. Also, if you follow me, and I didn't see it, I don't be on Twitter a lot. I'm a little busy, but I try to get on there as much as possible. Just shoot me a message or something, and I'll hit that follow back to make sure. But yeah, tapping me on there. You find me here every morning, maybe 8 a.m., might be 8:30. You never know. So
I have faith that we are going to get back on track to our 8 a.m. start. I'm gonna peel back the curtain a little bit. Your boy is running on fucking fumes over here, okay? I do 12 shows a week. Edit the graphics, like help write the shows, and I also have a full-time job that starts at 9 in the morning. Like I am over here running on fumes. We've been doing this since the start of July. I think we've been live on this channel every day except for like maybe 8 to 10 days over the last 60. So your boy is just finally getting his sleep schedule corrected. I've got to bed before 11 3 nights in a row, and my body is thanking me every day. Like I feel like a new human. Like I'm recharging. I'm back on the wireless charger is what I call my bed. Like it's bringing me back to life. So I think we should be back here on our regular schedule here coming up soon. But we are bouncing back. Q does this show at 4 in the morning in Arizona. So big shout out to him. So it's been a little rough on us lately, but we are getting back in the swing of things. We appreciate you guys for dealing with the chaos in the morning and still finding us, whether we start at 8:07 or 8:15. So big thank you to you guys for sticking around and dealing with our nonsense in the morning. We really appreciate you guys tuning in every day. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2Ts, 2_TEES. It's 2Ts on Twitch. It's 2Shiesty on TikTok. And don't forget to tap in on the Bleacher Report app. And if you didn't catch it last night, the Fans Edge, man, it was booming. They had a special guest on there. I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to have to watch the whole episode and find out who that was. But, man, tap into the Fans Edge, our national show with Cam, Mike, Disney, and EG. So if you missed that, make sure that you tune in. We got Dogs Film Room dropping tomorrow, the college football pregame show on Saturday, Buckeye BS Sunday. We're on Bleacher Report every week. So make sure that you tap in, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a good morning, everyone. Go Bucks and OH.
Yo.
There we go. Have a good one, guys.
One more time.